So I was reading the other day, and so I realized that James 1:5 says, if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of it, and you shall be given it. So sometimes you have not because you ask not.
Oh.
And so I would just say, why don't you just ask the Lord for what you need instead of, struggling? Sometimes it's as simple as just, look, God, give me some wisdom.
Yeah.
Give me some discipline. Give me this, and asking of that, and stop being so overwhelmed with pride that you get in the way of your own self because you're not gonna ask him for what you need.
What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning into yet another episode of Living Out Loud, where we're living out loud for the one who died for us. My name is LJ. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. We have conversations every week on God, faith, and living like Christ. And today, I have a very, very special friend. I'm excited. I'm excited about all my guests, but I'm really excited about this one. Because she's, how old are you again?
17.
17, and this woman of God is on fire for the Lord. She serves at the Life Church here in Richmond, Virginia. She's doing a lot of things. She told me that, she's in high school, but she's still doing college. She's doing college classes too. Girl is smart. She's doing her thing. This is Naiya Fountain. Let's give it up for her. So did I miss anything? Do you want to tell anybody else a little bit more about you?
No, I think you know a lot. You know a lot. Yes, I do serve at the Life Church RVA, more specifically TLC Youth. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. How long have you been working with the youth?
So I've been serving at TLC Youth probably for about 8 months, but I've been an active member since a year and a month.
Okay.
A year and a month. Yeah. And then once I started getting connected more with Sunday church and not just youth nights, I started serving everywhere.
Yeah,
you see me everywhere, yeah. So
that's what's up. And what do you think is the biggest thing that you've learned since serving in general or serving with your youth ministry?
I think I've learned how to reciprocate faithfulness.
Hold on, let me sit back on this one.
I preached a sermon in November, and I titled it how can we better reciprocate faithfulness to God? So that means faithfulness is defined as showing consistency, showing loyalty, being steadfast. And so I think with serving, I've definitely learned 3 of those things.
Yeah.
Loyalty, consistency, and being steadfast, and building the church and just being an active member. A lot of times we want things from God, but when are we willing to sacrifice some things for God?
Wow.
And be loyal and steadfast to him, and actually actively serve in our church and stuff like that. So
I've had a similar experience about faithfulness in my life, especially last year. Just how you said, we want God to do all these things, and sometimes we can want more, but God is yo, what are you doing with the things I already gave you?
Yep.
So in each stage of our life, we need to be good stewards of everything, because I don't know about you, but I want to hear well done, my good and faithful servant. That's what I want to hear. So
that's the goal for real.
No, seriously.
The ultimate goal.
Seriously. So in every area of my life, I'm really just trying to take hold of it and just be faithful and steward well, whether it's finances, my health, my mental health, serving in church, my relationships. I want to steward everything well.
Yes.
So that's something, God is even teaching me in this season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that's like something that you're growing in, or do you think like you're still learning?
Oh, no, I'm definitely growing in it.
Yeah.
As far as like being faithful, as far as like reading my Bible, praying, and stuff like that, that's so important. And, you know, reading my Bible, like, I feel like I'm very consistent, but I'll, you know, slip up and miss a few days, you know? So I'm just saying, like, I'm definitely still working on it, and it's something that I desire to, like, you know, continue to get better and better and better at over time, because that's super important. That's how you grow, like, intimacy with the Lord, and that, like, closeness that, you know, I desire. I hope like
Yeah.
a lot of people desire, but like I desire to be close with the Lord. Like
that is good. So have you grown up in the church? Like, were you a Christian like all of your life?
Yes. So my parents are pastors.
Okay.
And so like it's always been in front of my face.
Yeah.
Definitely like I've had to do it, and I say like when I was little, like, you know, I was like, okay, I'll go to church, you know, because it's like my parents are like making me and stuff like that. But I think it wasn't until like at the beginning of quarantine when I was fighting whether I was going to be like spiritually dead or not, because I was getting bullied in school. I was facing identity issues. And it wasn't until like I sat down with myself and I was like, when are you going to get tired? Like, try to do this on your own. Like, wow. And so then one day I was like, enough is enough, yo. Like, I gotta like, I said, Lord.
She said, I gotta.
Lord, help me. And that's all you gotta do sometimes. Just like, please, Lord, help me. It wasn't until I like actually like surrendered and was like, Lord, like I'm gonna give it my all. And then that's when I started seeing change. I started seeing like new relationships being formed. I started seeing like people coming into my life that were like-minded like me, that I was so eager to have in my life. Just people who could walk alongside of me to like help me. I can help them, you know, give relationships, because we don't get without giving. You know, so like,
yeah. Hold on, because you're preaching now. And so I'm here for it. No, but that's so good. That is so good. You did mention worship.
Oh yeah.
And like, guys, we can talk about worship all day. We can talk about worship all day, every day. But you know, like, that's one thing. That's one thing like I really love about you. I had an opportunity to, you know, like assist the Life Church's youth conference they had on back in January, and it was an amazing experience. But I was always just, you know, like watching you, like how every time like a the worship part of the service was going on, hands were lifted, you were just engaged, you were totally in it.
Yep.
So, you know, like, why is worship so important to you?
So I just made an Instagram post about this actually recently. So I remember when I was little, my dad actually preached a sermon on how worship is a lifestyle. And worship is not something that you just do. You just like, oh, we just going up there to sing a song. No.
Right.
Worship is something that you live out. That's something that you have to live outside of Sundays and Wednesdays. That's something that you have to live out in your relationship. It's relationship with God. It's that loyalty to God. It's you proving your admiration for the Lord and stuff like that. And so when my dad said that, I was like,
It hit you.
Yes, it gave me like a new perspective of worship was, and how we as believers should go about it. Yeah. It's not just something that you should take lightly. That is something that like is serious, because chains are broken in worship. Like revelations are formed in worship. Yeah. Breakthroughs are had in worship. And so I think as believers we need to take that more serious. Yeah. Worship, because one thing about me, I'm gonna get my worship in. Facts. And so yes, I love worship, and that's a big part of me. And just my whole like lifestyle and how I actually grow in faith. So yeah.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Like I've been leading worship at my church for a few years now, and just like learning the importance of it and how, like you said, it's a lifestyle. So it goes beyond Sunday, it goes beyond midweek. It's every day. It's asking yourself, where's my devotion? Who is on the throne of my heart? Yep. I've been hearing a lot of like conversations surrounding just like our hearts and checking our hearts daily. That's something that we have to do daily. No, like literally.
Look, check me, Lord.
Seriously.
If there's anything that's not like you, remove it.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. So, you know, like you're 17, so you're around like just like a younger generation. I'm not old, but you know, like, you're younger than me.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
So, you know, like how do you try to exemplify your faith to, you know, people your age?
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest with you. This took a lot. So when I first committed to growing my relationship with the Lord, I had to ask God for a peace, and a comfortability and being okay with being by myself, but also being okay with being different and being set apart. Because as believers, we are supposed to be set apart from the world and what other people do. And so I had to ask God to please give me the comfortability in being set apart. And so when I did that, I was I started seeing people go away from my life who weren't trying to do the same thing that I was doing, who wasn't trying to, go in the same path that I was going to try to grow my relationship. Because one thing is, everybody's not meant to go with you on this journey, on this walk.
All right.
And so you have to learn how to be okay with that. As long as look, God, I'm honoring you now.
Yeah.
So that's all that matters. And so it took a while for me to get to that point where it was okay with, my peers and stuff like that, and my friends and stuff like that, being okay with, I'm over here right now.
Yeah.
I gotta get myself together. I gotta get my relationship with God together, and y'all can come with me, or y'all, y'all gonna have to get it on your own. But I think when I came to that realization, that's what allowed me to not be ashamed anymore. And then that's when I was like, look, y'all can get this guy regardless. Yeah. Regardless, y'all can get this. And that's when I started becoming more public. And posted on social media about it, stuff like that.
What's up, guys? It's LJ. I hope that you're enjoying this conversation as much as I am, because it is so good. I just wanted to come before you real quick to just remind you that if you haven't already, please like this video on YouTube, and also subscribe if you're new. You can subscribe on YouTube, or you can even subscribe on the podcast. I would really appreciate it. If you didn't know, I'm on the road to 1,000 subscribers. That is 1,000 subscribers on YouTube and 1,000 listeners on the podcast. Another thing that you can do is share this link with a friend, or you can actually go on Instagram and share all of my content, or on TikTok. You can share my contact. You can tag me. My Instagram and my TikTok is at its_LJAYY. Also, let me know what your favorite quote so far is, or what is your biggest takeaway from this conversation so far. Let me know in the comments. And if you're on Apple Podcasts, please leave a kind review. That would help getting just the podcast out to more listeners. I can't do this without you guys. We're in this together. If I'm on the road to 1K, I'm gonna need your help. So please help me. Oh, and another big thing that I'm doing, I am launching a Patreon. It just launched this month. You can go subscribe on there. All patrons will have access to exclusive content that is just Patreon members only. It's called Living Out Loud, the After Show. And the After Show, that is basically where the conversations from the podcast continues. So the cameras are turned off. It's just audio. I just had the microphones running, and it's just the conversations that happen. More wisdom, more insight. And because the cameras are off, sometimes the filters are off as well. We dive deeper in the topics, and you get to know just me and the guests a little bit more through these conversations. Patreon is also a way for me to just connect with my audience a little more closely, and to develop a community of believers who live boldly and live out loud for the one who died for them. So that's it. Please like, comment, subscribe to the Patreon if you want. I would appreciate all of that. Let's get back to the conversation.
But I would say now, with peers and stuff, I just try to disciple as much as I can.
Yeah.
In TLC Youth, I definitely encourage others to use their Bible apps. There's apps on your phone.
Right,
you can do plans on there. There's ways that you can grow your faith and stuff like that. So I just try to encourage my peers to just run after him, desire it, chase, reach for him, and stuff like that. So
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think God is really just long for those people who will, go the extra mile and will make his name famous above our own. For a long time, my personal life, I, was huge people pleaser. I wanted to fit in
Yes.
so bad. You know, like
I understand.
You know, like doing things like that my friends were doing because I thought like I just had to do it, or I had to be accepted. So I'm gonna go this route. I had to go to this school because all my friends are going there, and not really just understanding, you know, who LJ was in God and like the path that He has for me. And so it's like when you do that, you're just going around like a revolving door, and it's chaotic. Yes. It's ghetto. It's ghetto, and I don't like it here.
Yes. I don't love it here.
Like, for real.
It's not cute. Like, you steadily trying to fit in a box that you're not gonna fit. Like,
yeah.
So.
And I like that you said like set apart. We're not made to be like everybody else.
Yeah.
You know, like it takes me back to like even like the Israelites when they were out of bondage. God gave them these rules to set them apart from all of the other nations, from all the other world. He said, "You are my people." And God is still saying that now. Like, you are my people and I am your God. So like understand me, understand my laws, understand like who I am, my love. And be that to the world.
Yes.
Because the whole goal here is to draw people closer to Him.
Exactly.
Anyway. Yeah.
Save souls.
Right. No, really.
Yes. That is the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, like you mentioned intimacy with God a little earlier. So take us on a journey of, you know, just like how Naiya fell in love with the Lord.
So, at first, I would start doing, like, worship nights in my room.
Wow.
By myself. So, what I would do was, I would turn on Chandler, because Chandler is... Let's just talk about that for a second. Chandler Moore is, like, my favorite ever. We'll leave it at that, because it's married now. All right. But, yes. I would start off with worship sessions in my room by myself and just like dwelling, like soaking, like posturing my heart to just like receive what the Lord has for me. And then I would, you know, reach over, get my Bible, start reading, and just like really see what the Lord is telling me like through the scriptures while the worship is on. And so I personally like don't think I can sing. But everybody else thinks
Don't let her fool y'all. Don't let her fool y'all. She can sing.
So I just like, you know, like to sing in my room by myself, door closed, you know. And just like to worship and stuff like that, and just that's how you get to know the Father more. And that's how I've grown intimate with the Father, definitely. Still trying to get that closeness, like that's like my goal for this year. Like, I want God to be right next to me, like best friend. Like, hey God, help me real quick.
Right.
You know, like talk to Him anytime. Like, I want to develop that intimacy like that. So,
I love that. Yeah. I love that. And what is a little bit of encouragement that you would give, like let's say like Naiya when she was younger, or like somebody who may be watching? What is some encouragement you would give them?
So I was reading the other day, and so I realized that James 1:5 says, "If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of it, and you shall be given it." So sometimes you have not because you ask not.
Oh.
And so I would just say, why don't you just ask the Lord for what you need instead of, you know, struggling? Sometimes it's as simple as just, look, God, give me some wisdom.
Yeah.
Give me some discipline. Give me this, you know, and asking of that, and stop being so overwhelmed with pride that you get in the way of your own self because you're not going to ask Him for what you need. So I would just say, for some encouragement, don't be afraid to ask God what you need. Ask Him what you need, and He shall provide it to you. So, yeah.
I was gonna say, like, it's that pride. That thing will keep you quiet, and then you're suffering. You know, like you're struggling in silence because you don't want to ask for help, and you don't want to seem weak or like you don't know.
Yep.
But it's okay not to know all the time. That's what God is here for. That's why He placed certain people in our lives.
Yep.
For us to get wisdom and for us to get knowledge from. So
that's so good.
That was good. What you said, that was good. Honestly. Is there anything else you wanted to say or touch on?
No. I think
Naiya,
we had a good conversation.
Yeah, this was good, Naiya. This was real good. Before we go, could you let the people know how they could be in contact with you?
Okay, so you can follow me on Instagram at Naiya Miracle, spelled NAIYAMIRACLE _. Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Sweet. So follow her, guys. She's doing awesome things. Oh, before we go on, you mentioned your own worship nights. And I remember you posted on Instagram how you might be doing your own worship nights on like Instagram Live or something. Is that still a thing? Is that going to be a thing?
Yes. I'm trying to get together like what I want to structure it as, like how I want it to be. But I do want it to be very like personal, very intimate. Just like how my worship nights were, like when I, still do it, but like when I first started out just by myself in my room, but I want others to be able to join in on that right now. So, yes, I will be doing that. So follow me on Instagram to learn more about that. Yeah.
Well, this was a really special conversation.
Yes.
I think that a lot of people are just going to get like healing from this. People who were like struggling in their identity and just like searching for God and don't really know where to start. I really feel like they got a lot of like foundational things through this conversation. Before we end, could you pray for those people?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Dear Heavenly Father, I just want to thank you for this day. I want to thank you for giving us another day to make it right with you. I want to just thank you for the wisdom and the knowledge that was shared in this conversation today. I want to pray that your people got it, and that it settled within their hearts, and that it was delivered with clarity and with truth that you provide to us. I want to just pray right now that the viewers and anybody that is watching, that if they are lack anything, if they don't have anything with them right now, I ask that you give it to them. Anything that they're struggling with, I ask that you provide it to them. I pray that they will not suffer any longer and stay in bondage for any longer for the things that they need of you. I want to just pray for LJ right now. I want to thank you for his vision for this YouTube channel. I want to pray that your word is conveyed through his life, through this YouTube channel. I want to pray that it is blessed and that it grows farther than he can imagine. And I want to just pray that this was a blessed conversation, a blessed word that happened this afternoon. And I want to just pray that we are the examples that you called us to be in the Bibles that others may see out in this world. And in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Naiya. That was beautiful. That was good. Thank you all for tuning in. Catch us next time. Peace.
Bye.